They say winning ain't everything. Well, we don't have them type conversations over here, man. Had that conversation with the losers. We trying to win at everything we do. Even in the loss, we don't see defeat. We see a lesson learned. Straight up. Look, I came into this world in 1978. The doc looked me in my face and knew I was something great. 45, 42 Prescott, that's where I'm from. Grew up in the slums around dope dealers and bums. As humble as I was, I adapted to my habitat. In my own lane though, far from where they crashing at. Dumb bar graduate, the game I done mastered it. Served in the Navy, look, y'all don't know the half of it. Pops passed in '01, moms passed last year. I know they up in heaven smiling down, crying mad tears, cause they son making it. No telling where I'm taking it. My city been cursed, but I feel that I'm breaking it. Coached at Wayne High in 15 in one state. Seen the fork in the road and went straight. I know what I'm worth, I'm OG King CURT. Brooklyn Nets gaming crew legend, let's work.
Hey, this is OG King CURT. I'm your host of the OG2CENTS podcast. I want to thank each and every one of you who tune in every Sunday. Truly appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Help us out a lot. Also, you can catch the podcast now on iHeartRadio. Brand new platform for us. Look forward to anyone who's on there to check us out. Make sure you continue to stand up against any forms of racism and social injustice. This episode is brought to you by Zenni Blocks. Make sure to armor your eyes with Zenni Blocks virtual clear blue blockers. It's important to protect your eyes from the harmful blue light from your digital screens, so you'll have less eye strain, and that makes for better sleep and performance. Check them out at zenni.com/gaming or follow them at Zenni Gaming on Twitter and Instagram. This episode is episode 28. Getting to know Autumn Johnson. She's a retired athlete, NBA 2K League reporter, ESPN Plus analyst and sideline reporter, host of In Season with Autumn. She's a woman whose grind I admire and respect. I don't like to do too much talking about my guests. So with further ado, Autumn Johnson, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on.
No, it's a pleasure. I think you're an intricate part to our league, and I want people to know. I want to get to know more about you, but I want also everyone else to know about you as well. So, thank you for coming on. Just to hop right into it, tell us your story and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so really just wanting to stay in the game is why I'm pursuing broadcasting anyways. I started playing basketball when I was 8 years old. And I played other sports, softball, ran cross country, but basketball was like my main love language. So, going through middle school, going through high school, AAU, I started to get burned out with the entire game, just from outside pressures from my dad and everything. So by the time I was a senior, I was done. I did not want to go to any school to play ball, whatever it might have been. Like, I just wanted to go to Kennesaw State, and that's it. I was throwing away basketball. But then when I got there and, semesters went by, and I was like, okay, this is all I do. Like, that's all I did. I was in the gym every summer for tournaments, going to practice after school. Like, that was my life. So now I had to find out, what can I do? What does Autumn love? So I tried different passions, different things around Atlanta. I actually came into Kennesaw State as an exercise and science major, figured out quick that wasn't going to work. So I was lost throughout that entire process, trying to figure out, like, who is this new Autumn and what does she love? So I tried to like go out and see if I could try out for Kennesaw State's basketball team. They didn't have tryouts. So I was like, okay, can I at least be a manager? I just wanted to be a part of a team, a part of a family. And that's the way that I could do it. And I felt like, I should be in the game a little more. Like, this is nice, but like, I don't like, the whole laundry aspect of it, taking food orders. Like, I wanted to play. I wanted to be more involved. So I just wanted to see what else was out there. My brother, Devin Johnson, I look up to him a lot. He is pursuing the same thing. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. Let me see if I can dive in that too. So there was a broadcasting boot camp in Atlanta hosted by Ryan Cameron. I went to that and I heard a lady, Rachel Barbo, who is a sports reporter, and I heard her story and I was like, I can do that. Like, she's talking about sports for a living. Like, I want to get into that. That sounds dope. Like, I could do that. So I looked into it. I spoke to her after, and she was offering like some boot camps for herself to charge and just try to mentor other women. And I brought it to my mom and I was like, Mom, this is the only way I can get into this. Like, please help me. Can you fund me in this way? And she was like, no, like, go do it yourself. I'm not paying for that. So I did it. Like, I went around Atlanta. I tried to find any opportunity that I could. I networked. I reached out to people, got a lot of no's, got a lot of yeses that led me to different opportunities. And I think that's the unique thing about my story is those no's led me to my ultimate yes. I was a reporter for Replay TV, writer for Swish Appeal. I worked in freelance for Turner Sports, just like handing out snacks, trying to stay in the door in different ways like that. And then I just started posting my work on Twitter. And I think that's what really got me the exposure that I needed. Social media is so powerful right now. And that's how I landed with the NBA 2K League. They saw my work, they loved me, and they just wanted to give me an opportunity. And here I am. I'm so thankful to be a part of the league. I love this league. It's growing tremendously. Everyone that I work with is amazing. The players are amazing and easy to work with. And the stories that are being told are so special to me that I get to, be trusted with that. So I'm just here, just not trying to create a ceiling for myself, just keep growing in every aspect that I can. But overall, just trying to stay in the game and try to keep that love for basketball going is, why I'm still pushing today.
No, that's great, and shout out to your mom for the tough love.
Seriously.
To keep you pushing. One of the things I used to say, I mean, because trust, I know about that. My mom, she was supportive, but she didn't hold no punches neither.
Yeah.
And I always said I would rather receive that tough love within the house versus outside of the house, because I know
Exactly.
still at the end of the day they cared.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of your biggest influences? I know you mentioned your brother, but any other influences that led you to where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, definitely have to go back to him real quick because I think everything that I do now kind of goes back to him. I played basketball because of him. I wore number 20 because he was like, "Hey, Ray Allen wears this number. You need to wear that number." I'm like, "Okay." Like
Oh, so you was
everything
a
he said.
So you was a shooter.
I was nice. I was pretty nice. Like you said, I'm retired now, but that's why I went for number 20. He was like, you need to do this. I'm like, okay. Like, he's into sports broadcasting. I did that as well. Like, I literally followed him around. I was a little tomboy growing up, but whatever he did, I did. So I have to give like my roses to him for being in that position because he's pushed me to where I'm at today. He's inspired me along this entire journey that I've been on. My mom, of course, has inspired me and just pushed me to be the greatest I can be. I definitely go through like confidence issues, and she's always there to pick me up and like, hey, like, you got this, believe in yourself, like, believe that, you are the full package and what you're offering is, the best you can be. So believe in that and keep going. The sky is the limit. She's always that person there to pick me up and keep me going. So my mom and my brother, like, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have the strength to be where I'm at today. And they're like my rock for sure. But within this industry, I would have to say Carrie Champion, Ross Gold, and Jamel Hill. Those are my power three right there. Just looking at Black women in this industry, like, that was huge to me because going into the whole, okay, should I get into sports reporting or not? I was like, I don't see any women out here that look like me. Like, I don't even think it's possible. So why should I bother? I'm not blind. I don't have, I don't have a father who could get me into this industry. I don't have anyone that looks like me that can get into this industry. I'm just doing it on my own. I don't have any connections. I'm not a former athlete that played at a college or professional level to get that type of recognition. I'm just normal old Autumn. So seeing those women and their stories, like Carrie Champion, she just sat out at ESPN and was like, hey, like, I'm here to meet anyone that I can. Like, she went after and got that opportunity. Jamel Hill was a writer and transitioned to television. Like, they all hustled for their position. Roz too. Like, she played at Stanford, but her hustle and everything like that, like, they got that on their own. So that was inspiring to me to see that this is possible for me. Like, I can be a Black woman and come in here and do the work that needs to be, like, that I need to do, and be put in the right positions if I put in that work. So seeing them has been very, very, very big.
Nah, that's great, and definitely some good people that you're modeling yourself after. I was gonna say from the beginning, I mean, hustler mentality. I mean that takes you a long way, just having that determination and not
Yeah.
letting nothing getting in the way of that. That kind of leading into, I mean, I know you mentioned Jamel Hill. I actually see you got a chance to interview you. The question was,
Yes.
who's your favorite person that you've interviewed? But I'm pretty sure I got a hunch who that might be. Although you've never interviewed me. Uh,
Look, we can get you on the show. That is no problem. Like, in season with Autumn, it's been on a hold for like 2 weeks, but we can get that going for sure.
okay, but talk about that. Favorite person you ever interviewed?
Ever interviewed Diana Taurasi, and I say that because she's my favorite all-time player. She's the reason that I started playing. Like, I watched her. I had like little binder, like cutouts of her on my binder in middle school. The first game I ever went to was a WNBA game. I watched the Dream play Mercury, and I saw her, and it was just amazing. I had finally got to interview her. I think that was like 2 years ago. I think I was fresh out of college, so like 2018. And I've never been starstruck before, but when I saw her, I was like, okay, like, relax, just go in there, ask your questions, you got
Woosah.
this. Yes. But she was cool. She was so cool. And then afterwards, I never do this. But we were waiting to get the questions out. But it was just me and her. I was like, I just wanted to say thank you so much, because you really inspired me to pursue this game, and I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't watch you. So thank you. And she was so cool. Like, I had to just talk to her. I didn't think I would ever have that moment, but everything went smooth. Questions came out correct. That was the biggest thing. I didn't want to choke on my words, but definitely Diana Taurasi.
Your advice for anyone that's looking to get in, especially women and women of color, what was some advice you would give them on attacking this field?
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest thing has been networking. Um, just putting yourself out there. Like, no matter how small the opportunity might be, do it. Like, that's going to get you better at the end of the day. Like, nothing is too small. Getting, gaining relationships, getting to know other people, getting reps too. Like, that's important. Going to different games like baseball, like, expand what you can do. Soccer. Like, I don't know soccer, but I've covered a soccer game because I don't want to put myself in a box ever. So if I can grow in that way and get reps any way that I can to get comfortable in the camera, like, do it. And I encourage anyone to do that and be confident. Like, I've had to go through that this entire journey, even playing basketball, like, confidence, being sure about your game. Like, if you put in that practice and you do this day in and day out, like, there should be, like, that should just translate into your game. That goes with everything. And just having patience. Like, I think you can't look at anyone else's journey, because your story is your story and your blessings are your blessings. So you can't look at what the next person is getting, because you should be in your own lane. Like, if you're looking at someone else and what they got, you're gonna crash because you're not focusing on what you are doing. So I've had to learn to be patient. Like I said in the beginning, like, those no's led me to my ultimate yes. And that's because, I'm a person that just wants things to happen, but it doesn't work that way. And you start to see at the end, like, why it didn't work, and it all makes sense, like, why you got that no, and you just go from there. But just network, be you. No one can be you like you. So I think that's important. And be confident and just have patience. That's all you can do.
I'm gonna have to use that. No one can be
Yeah,
you like you.
my mom told me that. She's the goat.
Thoughts on season 3 of the NBA 2K League?
Ooh, I just with how uncertain everything has been, I'm just proud of the entire team overall. Like, we weren't sure that sports was going to happen. We didn't think we would have a broadcast or anything, but the way like we didn't skip a beat, that is very inspiring to me. Like we were faced a challenge, and this is how they responded. We're producing different. We're producing a broadcast from different states, different people putting in, and just based off Wi-Fi and off Zoom and things like that. And these players, these teams are playing in their respectable markets. Like that's huge to me. That's very huge to see, and we were one of the first to do it. So still providing sports like that, that's been amazing. And we've been able to tell stories with behind the screen. Shout out to Jeff. And I do 24 seconds and with BFW Live, we're still providing pregame shows. Players are producing content. I've seen players have their own YouTube content, but that's special too because we're not getting access to these players. So if they're producing their own content, like we get to know more about them, and just get to know more about them. So I think that's been really huge, just how everyone has not laid down during this time. Everyone's still putting in the work. So it's been an exciting season. I wish we were in the studio because you get that different type of feel, energy, and the
Exactly.
atmosphere. But we will get there. It's been great.
Favorite NBA 2K League player you've interviewed?
Player. That's hard because everyone is really fun to talk to. But recently, draft night, which was back in February, the most like the interview that stuck out to me was Splashy because he came in with high energy. He was dancing. I was like, oh
Right.
yeah, he's gonna be fun this season. Like I can't wait to like interview him because last season it was Malik. Like I don't know how we got into like the little whoa thing, but that was fun. Like I like when players show me them and just have that energy because at the end of the game, at the end of the day, we're here to have fun. We're playing video games. Like it's a fun atmosphere. But if they can give me that type of energy and have fun with it, I love that. But last season it was Blazer 5 with Mama and Walnut. They were always like big
Them
talk, and I
two of my
loved it. They
favorites.
backed it up. Yeah, they were big talk and they backed it up. So I like that. And your guy Chuck was really cool for 24 seconds. So shout out to him. I can't pick one. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure like every interview has its moment. So I
Yeah,
mean that's fine.
yeah.
Um, who like, and this is just in general. It doesn't have to be 2K League, but just in general, who is someone you wanted to interview but haven't?
LeBron James. I've been saying this since day one, and I keep saying like, if 4 years, just give me 4 years. I don't want to put a deadline on it. Maybe he'll be retired, and I see him at an event, and I'll get that opportunity. But if not, I have Bronny. So definitely LeBron James.
Not a bad plan B.
Right? Exactly.
Who do you think will win the NBA 2K League championship this year?
I'm sorry, there's no question. But the Raptors, like, they are giving us no other options right now. They could be on the high horse, and then that surprise team might knock them off of that throne. But right now, they can't be stopped. They're untouchable. They're dangerous with the undefeated record, back-to-back champs, and they're just a fun squad to watch. I just saw recently that Timely is number 1 in steals, and then right behind him is Kenny with number 2 in steals. So like just that stat overall was huge to me. They're just dominating and sick and legit. They have, amazing story and adversities that they're overcoming, and they're able to do this together and dominate together on the same team. So I think overall, like they're a special team. Timely has his story, just being a comeback player from season 1 and coming in season 3, still being like one of the best locks in this league. Kenny, MVP has to be, but he was an average player last season, and now he's like that's all we can talk about right now. So it has to be the Raptors. I'm pulling for them, but as biased as I am not right now, but yeah, I think they're definitely going to come out on top.
Now I see from time to time. I think you made a tweet about it, and it was something I definitely agree with because
Yeah.
it's something that I practice more or less is just about using social media for promotional use more than anything. And in asking that, it's like, how engaged are you with the 2K community on Twitter?
Yeah, I try to retweet and repost as much as I can. I try to put stuff on my own social media platform. You will find me on everything like LinkedIn posting stuff. Um, Not even just retweeting it. Like my strategy this year is also, yes, retweeting it, but also posting it on my own. Like I'll see on Instagram that, they put 24 seconds up with, but then I'll go back and download that video and put it on my social too. So it's not like I'm just putting only their content on there. I'm like trying to repurpose it as well. Put it on LinkedIn. Like any way that I can get it out to give this league exposure, I will. Because last season they were like people like that I would be around would come to me and they're like, "What's the NBA 2K league?" But now they're seeing it. Now you can't miss it. It's on ESPN two now. Like we're on different platforms across the entire globe. So that's been huge. Any way that I can help out, speak out, and just try to get people to love this league as well and see it, I'm here for it. So, yeah, that's what I've been trying to do.
Now, what are some things that you do when you're not working? Like, what do you do to unwind?
I work out. I try. That's been my biggest thing, especially during quarantine. It's given me time and time to not make excuses because I have nothing but time. But that's just been my therapy throughout this time, and something I can put a goal on and achieve that. So I have my own fitness page that I've been working on, AJTV Fitness. And what else? If you can see these paintings, I've been painting during quarantine. That's been a lost love of
Oh,
mine.
that's your own artwork,
Yeah, yeah, it is. I got LeBron, Kobe, and
MJ.
yeah, MJ in the middle, and then I got the Jordans up there that I want but can't buy. So yeah, I've been painting those, and I want some more, but we'll see.
Man, I seen the fitness aspect of it, and you have been posting your progress with some flexion here and there
Just something
on
slight.
Instagram. I mean, that's great work. I mean, I think COVID and the pandemic in itself is truly, like I said, if you're a hustler and a true independent, like you have nothing but time to try and maximize or capitalize on it. And
Exactly.
I've been seeing a lot of people do that, and it's been inspiring for me. I've done a lot during this time and plan to continue to do more. So it's just great to see that.
Yeah.
Far as your fitness goes, I mean, are you where you want to be, or you still got a ways to go, or
I still got ways to go, but I'm happy, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like mentally, I want to be good. Like not just the physical appearance, like mentally, emotionally, I just want to be the best Autumn in that aspect. So the physical appearance of it is nice, but like I'm just looking at the total Autumn. Like, is she happy? Like, you know, is she mentally in check? And how is she pushing forward? So I'm working on all of that. And self-love too. I think for my fitness page, I put self-love and fitness, like making sure that goes first, emphasizing self-love, and then the rest will follow. So I wanted to put that in light because, I had a lot of people reach out to me. I put my own personal story on there and they're like, hey, I was going through that too. And it was very inspiring to see how you bounce out of that. Like, to hear that I inspired someone, I was like, I have to make this into something bigger because I can help out someone else. And if I can do that, then that's a win.
no, definitely. And I love to hear that. I mean, I know the feeling, because your brand is positive. My brand is nothing but positivity. I don't really engage in anything other than that. And often in popularity or whatever, that it can be a struggle for
Right.
people to adapt to it. But the rewarding side of it is that those who do adapt to it is sincere because that's what they're looking for, and
Yeah.
that's what they need in their life, and that's the most fulfilling part. I always say that it's not the tweets that everybody sees
Mhm.
that makes me feel the most proud. It's the messages or the text messages
Exactly.
and DMs that I get that really
Exactly.
push me forward. Now, you thought about any modeling in your future or anything like
Whew.
that?
See, baby steps, but maybe, maybe if I get to that point, I'm really not even photogenic. It takes me like 1,000 pictures to get the right one. But it would be nice to also hop onto different like fitness brands. So maybe if I can model in that way, you know how people have like leggings and like protein shakes, modeling in that way, that would be cool.
I'm sure you're qualified. And most of the time, though, they just have better cameras, so they have
Mm,
to. So it's
that's
less
true.
takes.
Exactly. I'll get there.
So what? I mean, what's next for Otto?
Well, I haven't really announced it, so you are the first to hear it, but
Oh,
I am breaking news.
oh my!
But I
I'll make sure
it,
I highlight this when
here
this
we go.
episode comes out.
Here we go. Well, I will be an NCAA digital reporter for women's basketball this upcoming season. So I just finished my first week of training this week. I'm still working with the NBA
Congratulations.
2K League. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited to get started, just get content flowing. But everyone knows I'm a huge advocate for women's basketball. So if I can continue to grow the game in this way and just showcase these athletes' stories and their talents, like I can't wait to get started. But still rocking with the NBA 2K League, of course. This role is seasonal for the women's basketball digital reporter, but I'm just excited to keep going. I'm like I said in the beginning, I'm not creating a ceiling for myself. I always want to grow in any way that I can. And I'm just excited for the opportunities that are coming, and I'm just gonna keep rocking with everything. So yeah, I'm excited.
No, I'm excited for you. I mean, I like to see everybody winning. I mean,
Mhm.
to me, I always feel like if I'm doing anything and I haven't got to where I'm trying to go, I haven't done enough, or it's not my time. And I don't knock anybody who's achieved what they're going after. I mean, because 9 times out of 10, most of us has worked for it long before anybody witnessed
Right.
anything that we've done.
Mhm.
So that's great. Now I'm happy for you about that. Me personally, I've always been a women's college basketball fan, a WNBA fan. I guess I mean, for me, I mean, I watched the actual first WNBA game that was ever played,
Oh wow.
and I've been a fan
Wow.
since then.
Wow.
Um, so I always support it. I had a daughter who played college basketball, so I
Nice.
mean, definitely, you know, it's no way around it. I mean, I
Yeah.
love it. I love the way the women compete and everything like that. I'm sure, like you know, I just want to get your take on it. I know you probably seen the tweet with Andre Iguodala and you know, Ariel Powers, that
Yeah.
exchange. Like,
Yeah.
I felt where she was coming from. Uh, I knew I seen what you know what he tweeted, and to be honest, I was just scrolling through Twitter. I didn't even know, like, initially it was Andre Iguodala who
I
made the
didn't
tweet.
either. Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
either.
So my thing was just what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, like you said, I didn't know who it was because I didn't even realize that he had like a check by his name, like it was Andre and then the verified check. I was just scrolling and I know I saw the tweet that it said like number 23 is nice and she was like
Right.
put some respect on my name. But that overall, like, you know, you could have looked up her name. Like, especially being in the NBA and having that platform, Like they have to be in that space and speak up and give them the recognition that they need. Like she said, put some respect on my name. The way he also said that he doesn't want his daughter to come up and play basketball because she's going to end up and be a lesbian. She was like, you could have took this energy like you did and researched my name, and if you were going to give me those props and you have that platform to do it, do it. Like, he definitely should have probably just kept the comments to himself, and I don't even think that's possible. I mean, not possible. I don't think that's true, that even if you're a basketball player, a women's basketball player, you're going to come up a lesbian. Like, and if you you are. That's just who you are. If you play the game, that has nothing to do with playing the game at all. But he should respect the women that's playing the same game that he's playing. But in credit to the NBA, there are, um, you know, NBA players that are pushing for women's basketball, and WNBA players. We just had Kyrie start a fund for $1.5 million for people sitting out. And that's huge because they don't make enough already. And there's a lot of people sitting out for social injustice. There's people sitting out due to injuries. And this is a tough time. And for him to realize that, like, who does that? Like, that's never, I think, has never been done, and I think that was special. But yeah, she had a point to make. Put some respect on her name. She's
Yeah,
nice.
and see that what my whole thing was, it like, I know, like, well, you play basketball in the gyms, and you be watching the game, and like when people don't, obviously, like, especially during AAU, like,
Mhm.
because it's a ton of players going on playing, you don't know everybody, and there's not
Mhm.
always programs. So when you see somebody playing well, you'll be like, man, like, number 20 for so and so, they hooping, because you
Mhm.
really don't know who they are. But in this instance, I'm like, it only takes 5 seconds. You can Google number 23
Yep.
for the
Yep.
Washington Mystics, and
Yep.
it'll show up. I mean, so
Exactly.
I felt where she was coming from. And I don't know. I actually had a chance to meet Ariel Power. So we talked everything. And even now we talk back and forth and things of that nature. So I had commented on the Instagram post that she made. And man, the slander
Yeah.
that like, and the guys, the slander that the guys make, it to me is just,
Mhm.
I don't know. I can't even imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
because I don't know what makes you not like women, or not like a sport that bad. Like, I mean, I'm like, who hurt you? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's really where I get, because like me personally, if I don't like something, it doesn't get too much. It doesn't get hardly any energy from me.
Well,
Like,
here's a point that Lexi Brown made, and I interviewed her on In Season with Autumn. We talked about this a little more, but she made a comment with W Slam that she feels like people don't like women's basketball or the WNBA in general is because it's filled with, one, women, two, black women, and three, successful black women. So like that three itself is kind of the hate that goes towards it. And I was like, I never thought of it in that aspect. That league is predominantly black. Of course, it's women, and they're successful. So that's a lot to hate on. But I'm pretty sure they can cross them up and give them buckets. It's people that are saying this that don't even play and never played the game before. So it's like, just respect the game overall. It's basketball, and no matter what the gender is, it is basketball. And these girls, they got game. And that's why I wanted to start In Season with Autumn, to highlight the WNBA players, to give them, some recognition. Even with my platform, it's not, popping like it could be, but like it's
it will,
something
it will.
it's getting there.
It's a grind. It's a
It's
grind.
but I wanted to highlight, all the dope women that play the game. So
And shout out and kudos to you for that, because even with me on my platform, I mean, it's like I want to recognize everybody who I feel like is doing something and trying to make an impact in their respective industry, and women do get overlooked.
yeah,
I
all
mean,
the time.
so I definitely don't want to be a part of that side of
Yeah.
it, but yeah, that's some interesting points. I never even thought about it like that. I
Right.
mean, but I can't say that it's not true. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I still continue to watch it. I mean, obviously, and ironically for me, I've been I mentioned this time and time again, but I've always been a pro New York fan. So for me to end up in New York is like beyond my wildest imagination and dreams. But when the WNBA was announced, I became an instant Liberty fan because I was a Knicks fan at the time. But so now to actually get to watch them play and actually be a supporter of somewhere where I actually work is fantastic. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, just I guess I want to thank you for coming on and letting people to get to know more about Autumn Johnson. And at this time, I want you to plug yourself and give your social channels, how people can get in touch with you or how people can potentially work with you.
Yeah. Well, everything is Autumn Johnson TV on Instagram, Twitter. I just try to follow my brand in that way. And then autumnjohnsontv.com is where I post all of my work, articles, interviews, anything that I've done. It will be found on there. But Autumn Johnson TV, follow me.
Well, thank you. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in for this episode. Remember to follow the OG2CENTS podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, and like I said, now iHeartRadio. You can follow the OG2CENTS podcast on social media at Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can follow myself at OG King CURT on all social media platforms. That's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Go to www.ogkingcurt.com for everything OG King CURT and the OG2CENTS podcast as well. Shout out to my team, David, the 2K Zone, Strider Visuals, Box Graphics, and Cy Evermore. Check out the 2K Zone shows, 2K Zone Roundtable every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2K Center Stage, that's every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All shows stream live on twitch.tv/2KZone. You can catch me on EsportsXTRA. That's every Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's with host Larry Ridley, the crew Renee Montgomery, Antonio Williams, Dervin Rorell, and Kevin Mamuzet. And that's on Compete Forever on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure you tune in to next week's episode. And remember, if it makes sense, it's an OG2CENTS. OG out.
Put this work in, fellas. And much, much, much love to the entire 2K community for always showing me love. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Yeah.